ever since she'd met him. Of course, upon meeting Jaden months ago, Claudia welcomed that interference. She was over the same type of men, the ones that pretended to be interested but just wanted sexual favors. The men who were attentive but had a wife and kids at home. The kind who simply didn't know how to treat a woman right. Her life had been riddled with those types, and Claudia longed for someone to call her own, and vice versa. However, that someone hadn't come along until she met Jaden Alexander Rose. They were both attending the March of Dimes gala event, and Claudia was being auctioned off for a date in exchange for a hefty donation. She wasn't alone. Samaya and their co-workers, Selena Strauss and Octavia Davenport, were also a part of the event when 7 of the sexiest men, elite in stature, strolled in their direction. Claudia had almost choked on her alcoholic beverage. When the 7 gentlemen surrounded her and Samaya, Claudia's eyes never left Jaden. As ridiculously gorgeous as the men were, Jaden stuck out like a sore thumb, with his broad shoulders, golden brown eyes, goatee, and fresh white smile. His hair was cut and cropped to the shape of his face. Samaya introduced her to Jonas, and Jonas in return introduced Claudia to his brothers. Claudia's hearing had eluded her after he said Jaden's name. Besides being his brother, Jaden was also Jonas's business partner at Rose Bank and Trust Credit Union. Jaden, being at the top of his game, was named on Forbes' 30 Under 30 finance list as one of the youngest traders, bankers, and deal makers. Currently running his own $730 million hedge fund at Rose Bank and Trust Credit Union. Jaden traded oil after the devastation of Hurricanes Gustav and Ike. His accolades didn't end there. The list went on, and Jaden continued to be one of Chicago's most notorious movers and shakers. With Jaden being so influential and always turning heads whenever he was around, Claudia only mused over a possible relationship with him in her own head. She would never allude to this out loud, because the possibility of a man like Jaden being with an around-the-way girl like Claudia seemed unrealistic if spoken. Claudia grew up in the hood of Chicago, attended public schools, and took out financial aid for college tuition. Her father disappeared when she was 12 years old, leaving her mother, Adeline Stevens, to raise Claudia and her older sister Desiree. Their household was as unstable as Hurricane Ike. Claudia quickly got into trouble after her father's departure, skipping classes to smoke marijuana behind the stands by the racetrack. Claudia and Desiree were 2 peas in a pod until Claudia's behavior became reckless, landing them both in juvenile for forgery. Claudia had asked Desiree to sign their mother's signature on what was supposed to be a junior high school progress report. But in turn, it was an application for a small loan at a local mom-and-pop's bank. The incident caused a rift in the sisters' relationship, and Desiree had been skeptical of Claudia's motives since then. Never mind that the incident occurred over a decade ago. Since that time, Claudia provided everything their mother required over the last 5 years since she needed full-time care after her stroke. Claudia's toes sank into the brown grains of sand as she placed one foot in front of the other, with her shoes clutched in her palms. Claudia and Jaden had flirted countless times and had intense and sensual conversations. She'd even met his father, brothers, and sisters, but that seemed to be the gist of it. Where it appeared they were easily connected, Jaden had taken multiple business trips without as much as a phone call. And in Claudia's mind, Jaden had more important things to do and could have any woman at his disposal. For this reason, she rationalized that the chemistry between she and Jaden was all primal, and silly thoughts of being in love with him was absurd. So unfortunately for Claudia, she would have to keep an eye out for her Mr. Right, no matter how bad she didn't want to look past Jaden. A soft wind fell over her, and Claudia